Yes, we only have 2 episodes of Game of Thrones left, and Think Story is here to take a quick look at next week's preview. So if you haven't seen it yet, I've left a link in the description, because here we go. The preview begins with Daenerys looking contemplative outside of the war room in Dragonstone, and it's no wonder since last episode saw her not only lose her dragon Rhaegal, but also her confidant Missandei. It looks as though her small battalion of troops who amassed outside King's Landing has regrouped back at Dragonstone, and Tyrion here is a bit apprehensive to approach her. With all that's been happening to Dany over the last 2 episodes, I'd approach slowly too. But if we know anything about her, she'll likely be fueled by rage. Cersei overlooks the city, and you can see just how far the castle is from the front lines. Those little turrets are what we see here, holding giant ballista like the ones Euron had on his fleet to counter the dragons. It's these same ballista that were created by Qyburn in Season 7 to penetrate a dragon's thick armor. You can grab a quick glimpse of Qyburn and the mountain in the background, and I wouldn't be surprised if Arya and Clegane got behind the walls of King's Landing before Cersei closed them up. After all, Clegane will likely battle it out with his brother who caused those burn marks on his face. Here we see Davos, Jon, and Tyrion behind what's left of their army, a ragtag group of Northerners, Unsullied, and Dothraki. By the walls, you can see the Golden Company. We'll get a better view of them later on in the preview. These guys look more well rested than their northern counterparts. In the throne room at Dragonstone, we see what appears to be Tyrion and Grey Worm. However, some have said it may be Varys. They could be coming to explain a new plan, but judging by Tyrion's face here, whatever Dany has planned might not be what he envisioned. My guess, fueled by the loss of Missandei and Rhaegal, Dany will decide to use the dragon on King's Landing, even if it means the deaths of thousands of civilians, something Tyrion had been fighting against since day one. Here we see Euron in the harbor at King's Landing behind him. The trailer later hints that he's looking upward at Drogon, which signals the Lannisters to arm their crossbows. But notice here these are Lannister men and not Euron's. I also think there's some tricky editing going on here. We have Euron clearly on the sea, him looking up in the sky as the sound of a dragon wails. Then the men arming the crossbow are on the cliffs outside King's Landing, hinting that Drogon will come from the sea. And this shot here could potentially be from somewhere completely different within King's Landing because of the background wall here, which looks a lot more like the main entrance. Perhaps most interesting is Euron's brief look of surprise. My guess is that Dany wouldn't make the same mistake by taking the fleet head on. Instead, she'll either use the positioning of the sun and clouds to maneuver Drogon, or perhaps she's had him fitted with special armor that will be able to resist the ballistae. Either way, she'd be stupid to engage the fleet without a new plan. We also haven't seen Yara Greyjoy and her fleet, so I wouldn't count them out as well. With Emilia Clarke saying Episode 5 is bigger than Episode 3, my prediction is that we'll see a lot more major deaths. As the northern troops eventually besiege King's Landing, we'll make our way closer and closer to the Red Keep, where we're likely to see battles between Jaime and Cersei, the Mountain and Clegane, and even Qyburn will likely bite the dust. If Drogon does die, my guess is that he'll have left dragon eggs, since we know dragons reproduce asexually. In the title sequence, we even get 4 dragons, not 3, perhaps hinting at the future of dragons in Westeros. We also don't know the fate of Ellaria Sand, whether she'll come back next episode or the one after that, and I think it's a safe bet we haven't seen the last of her. That's my quick breakdown of the preview. Be sure to like and subscribe since I have more Game of Thrones videos on the horizon. What do you guys think will happen next episode? And if you'd like, feel free to follow me on Twitter at ThinkStoryYT. Until next time, remember, Daddy loves you very much.